Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to the show. This is episode 370 of the Two Dumb Yinzers
Cool.
show. Good morning, fellas. How you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm just best part of my day right now.
Yeah, man. This is usually Derpy's nap
It
time.
is.
How is your day for you going today,
Usually it
Derpy? How
is.
you doing, buddy?
I'm all right.
Derpy is sound asleep.
Derpy 12 minutes late to the conversation.
Derpy. Today, guys, it is enough of this talk about how our day is gone. Our day is only going to get better because today, everybody, the NFL officially starts tonight at 7:00. Is the first preseason game of the year between the Browns and the New York Jets in the NFL Hall of Fame game.
I am pumped. Football is back.
Football is back, everybody. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We've been talking about this since February, and it's almost unbelievable that here we are. We're right on the doorstep, guys. We're tonight at 7:00. We'll be watching the NFL football. This time, about another 8 days. We've got about 8 days till the Steelers play in their opening preseason game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next Friday, 1 week from tomorrow. It's so awesome, everybody. I am so freaking thrilled.
I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now. I don't care that it's the Browns and the Jets. It is NFL football. It is the big leagues. It is the big boys. Where the big boys play. Apparently, I just turned the NFL into WCW, but I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, Derpy, are you excited, man?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Are your people excited? I know that you're from the Browns side of the tracks, and
I don't care.
You don't care. You're just ready to watch football and get ready for your Steelers next week.
Yep.
That's where I'm at.
Derpy is like such a homer. He's the homerest of all homers.
I like it.
It's probable.
Derpy is super homer.
It's quite fun. Yeah. Never mind. Moving on.
Before we do start, I do want to say this. The other day we spoke about Pee Wee Herman. He passed away, of course. I don't know if anybody knew this, but you do have access to his bike. The bike that was on the movie Pee Wee's Big Adventure, of course. The bicycle that the whole entire movie was based around. Now, this bike, guys, is owned by the Bicycle Heaven Museum on Pittsburgh's north side. So at any time that you ever wanted to see the famous bicycle that the movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure was made around, it lives on the north side, guys. So there you go.
I always loved that bike.
I can see you driving that bike.
I was a little kid. I thought that bike was awesome. I'd ride that thing around everywhere.
I liked when
I'd ride that thing with pride.
Remember when he went somewhere and he got off the bike and he chained it up so nobody would take the bike? How he kept just pulling the chains out of the box of the bicycle. That was probably my favorite part. Of course, those chains weren't coming from in that thing, but that was, as a child, that really got me. I thought, man, what else could you keep pulling out of there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was something that I thought was really cool. But there you go, guys. The famous bicycle just right up the river.
There's more cool things in Pittsburgh than you think.
Oh, definitely.
Every time you turn around, there's something new.
Yes. Guys, as we get started, we're going to talk a little bit about these Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, we're going to catch up because we got tied up yesterday. So there were some things that we had to do. But for as far as the Steelers team goes, Corey Trice out for the season. I got some scoop that a lot of the fact that people would have taken Corey Trice somewhere between the beginning of the draft and the 7th round where we got him. However, the news on the street, guys, was he's an injury-prone player, and that's why he wasn't taken anywhere before we got this steal in the 7th round. So this steal, he has a non-contact knee injury, and he's out for the entire season, which stinks because I at least wanted to see him play. If he could at least made it to this week, of course, next game I'm talking about against Tampa Bay, and we would have had a chance to see him. That'd been one thing. But we're not going to get a chance to see him. It's almost going to kind of be like a Calvin Austin III. We're going to be, oh man, I can't wait to see him next year. But again, keep that in mind on why his stock did go down in the draft.
Yeah, that's why, when you're getting someone of his talent level in the 7th round, there's usually a reason why. And, for him, it was the injury bug, because what they were saying, like, if he didn't have this injury history, he would have been a day 2 pick. He was that good. And, you're hoping, he would have, put those injury concerns behind him. But, like once it was like knee and ankle injuries, those things, even if you heal them and you do the surgery, and these guys are, physical fitness is peak. They're, everything is peak, and they still get hurt.
Oh, right.
These injuries can still linger. And that's what sucks, man. Once it's like your knees and ankles, they just keep coming back. But hopefully he could come back next year healthy and, at least play in the league a couple of years. I want to see what this kid can do.
Absolutely. There was a lot of great talk about him from day one, and to the point where he got injured. So it is unfortunate that we're not going to see him anytime soon. He's one of the players that I had on my list of guys that I did want to see. I'm like, I don't know if you have it anywhere near you, but grab your phone. I just did send a graphic over to you.
Oh, I do not have my phone. I'm sorry.
Go get it. Can you go get it?
I might be able to.
All right. Yeah, guys. And you'll see why. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, this Corey Trice. Now this, all these new guys, the rookies, they're the ones you can't wait. You watch preseason 4 is to see the new guys, what we have coming up, what's going to be the future of this team. But again, Corey Trice goes down, is out for the season on a non-contact knee injury. If this Derpy, we were talking the other day before we went off the air, which guy would you be okay losing for the season and still think we'll be okay? If this is the guy that we end up losing for the season, I think we'll be just fine, because again, you don't know to what extent he was going to be playing, to what role he was going to be playing. And it happened early enough to where we could recover now and have other, plans and situations put in place to go. Mike, I was just telling Derpy, we were just talking about this the other day. What guy would you not mind losing for the entire season? And if this is the guy, even though he's not a starter, I'll be totally fine with that.
Yeah. Because we were going through the list. I know on air and off air, quarterback's kind of deep. You might be able to get by with Mitch. Running back, we have a little bit of depth. Inside linebacker, now we have depth. Corner, okay, you were thinking if we lose, Peterson, we lose Jerry Porter Jr., we lose Levi Wallace, that'd be huge. Corey Trice, you hate to say it. You hate to see anyone get hurt, but, if this is the injury,
this would be the one that you'd want.
Yeah. Be one you want. It sucks for him. We're not making light of the injury. No. But if that's the one, okay. Yeah, okay. You can make it with, losing a 7th round rookie pick that you were counting on to show some growth, not be a starter.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving forward, another guy on this defense, guys, a rookie that we're all excited. And as time gets closer, the more I get excited to see this guy is this Nick Herbig. Apparently he's having a huge camp. Everything I've heard come back from him has been super. And this comment here by TJ Watt only leads to what we're saying. Quote, his game is improving each and every day, and I'm going to have to start charging him soon because he's taking every single one of my moves. It's getting a little bit out of hand, but he's winning a lot of reps. He's learning with his losses, but he's gaining ground every single day. This Nick Herbig, for somebody like TJ to say these things, of course, he's not going to come out and badmouth him, but this is pretty extreme on the good side. So I'm hoping that that's a sign that, this guy in these wheels that he has and, what he's going to bring to the defense. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see Nick Herbig. And this, Mike, from the day one when we drafted him, I was a little skeptical because of his size.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were, because he is that quintessential tweener. He's definitely not going to be a D end. He's not going to. So is he going to be an undersized inside linebacker and an undersized outside linebacker? And with his pass rushing repertoire that he had in college, and he modeled his game after Watt, and he always wants to learn. So you want to see what he can do. Just remember, James Harrison was undersized, but he was a physical freak in strength, and hopefully, Herbig be a freak with like his speed and quickness to cause some disruption on the ends. And some stuff I read too is like, he was manhandling some linemen. Yeah. So for someone like, that tiny, you're like, okay, maybe he has that deceptive, you always hear about deceptive speed.
Yeah.
For someone who's not that fast, but not that slow, maybe he has deceptive strength, not that strong, but more than what you're thinking, how strong someone would be.
And, he exactly. And the guy, he sometimes it just takes having that X factor. And it's a factor that you can't even explain. It's just something that some guys have, some guys don't have it. But
it's
so
the
far,
intangibles.
He seems to have it. Yeah. And I'm excited for him as well. A lot of things. There's a lot of things that's worth getting excited about for this Pittsburgh Steelers team. Again, preseason starts tonight, the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio, between the New York Jets and Cleveland Browns. This game is at 7 p.m. I can't wait. Speaking of TJ Watt, I know there's something that pissed Derpy off because he wrote about it a couple of times.
I think I know what it is.
Derpy is he's unsatisfied. He's dissatisfied with where TJ Watt landed on the list of NFL top 100 players. Of course, TJ Watt landed at number 27 overall, saying there's 26 people better than him in the NFL. Derpy, where do you think, and I assume that's what you know where you were going with this, where do you feel that TJ should have fell, if not at number 27 where he did?
At least top 15.
At least top 15?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see who does fall in the top 15. You know what I mean? Just to kind of go off of that and say, and give us something to complain about, of course. But Cam was what? He was 40, 45, 40,
45, 44, 45, somewhere in that area.
45. And TJ's number 27. We still do have Minkah Fitzpatrick, who I'm sure is going to fall somewhere in a number higher number that's left. But Derpy was mad as hell. I can tell you that. He was mad as hell with where TJ Watt landed when he landed at 27.
Yeah, a lot of Steeler fans were, but you have to remember, like, this is voted on by the players. It is based off like what they did last year for the most part. He missed a lot of time, so that I think maybe like top 20 maybe would have been better, but the year before he was ninth after that monster season. So he does have respect around the league. It's just, he was out last year. So it's kind of hard to put him higher, but if you're basing it off of his entire body of work and, projecting where he would be this year, top 10, I would think. But, he was injured last year. So you gotta put it into context. When I first saw it, I'm like, really? It kind of took me back, and I don't take these rankings very seriously because they're all subjective. But what's not subjective is that he's a former defensive player of the year. That's a totally objective.
Exactly.
You could point to that. He earned that. So, I expect him. He's going to, at the end of the year, when they do these rankings next year, he'll be back up where he should be.
I agree.
Unlike what I like about Watt, he's not making a thing about it.
Right.
Yeah.
He hasn't publicly said anything like
he's going to prove it on the field.
Like a certain teammate always says when these rankings come out, likes to whine and complain. He's just going about his business. He's pulling like a Kutch. He's pulling like a Lemieux, like a Crosby. You just, okay. And you just go about your day, and you internally let that fuel your fires, and you unleash hell upon the league.
I agree. A couple signings. What's this guy? Trenton Thompson. Trenton Thompson's a safety that we signed. I'm pretty sure we have about 600 players right now. It seems like every time I see the list, we're about 93, and then we just keep adding more players. And
it's going to be hard to let all these guys go.
That's the thing. We're losing some, but it seems like we're gaining a lot more than we're losing. Trenton Thompson is a safety that we've signed over the past couple of days, and Isaiah Dunn, a cornerback, also signed by the Pittsburgh Steelers recently. So we are, And that's the thing. You watch these preseason games, and you know that after these games, X amount of players are going to be getting shed. The following week, the same thing. And then there you go. You got 53 players ready to go in 38 days to play the 49ers. So
a lot of these guys, you're bringing them in to see if, hey, can they play special teams for the most part right now? And then if they got special teams, okay, what else can they do? Are they able to step into like a sub package somewhere? Are they going to be deserving of a hat or just be on that 53-man roster ready to go? So, these signings, they're fun. And I just can't wait to see them in action to see, what do these guys have a future in the league, or are they just going to be a camp body? But hey, you never know, man. Willie Parker started as a camp body. James Harrison started as a camp body for the Ravens, and the Steelers kept getting cut and bounced around the league. So you never know. All it takes is one chance to get in.
Everybody's talking about the the amazing George Pickens catch. My opinion on this is, it is what it is. We've seen it. The weeks go on. I want to see these kind of catches during the regular season. Of course, he had one big one like this last year against the Browns. I'm ready for George Pickens to have a big season. And this is the kind of things I expect to see from him this year, along with all of our receivers. I hope that everybody gets their heads out of their asses and plays good football, because you know what? If we go out and make these plays consistently and do things like this, the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's no excuse why this shouldn't be a good team. But it's not like this play is this anything that surprised you. I mean, these are the kind of catches that George Pickens made in camp every single day last season, and we've seen every single one made every day in the last season. I'm going to get excited when it carries over to a regular season.
Yeah, because he had that big catch, and then the next day, Deontay had that beautiful one-handed snag on the sideline where Kenny threw it where only Deontay can get it. So they're making plays in training camp. Like Ryan said, I want to see it in live action. I just
hope it doesn't go to his head.
It sounded like it might be a little bit. I mean, he's
he's not afraid. He's not afraid to say what's on his mind. Let's just put it that way.
Which is 99% of the people in the league, I mean,
and especially wide receivers and corners, man, they chirp, chirp. So hopefully, that's just who he is. He just likes to talk.
Player that we all can agree has mental issues. I just hope it doesn't go to his head.
Well, we'll see. Like after that big catch when he threw the ball at Porter, then Porter threw it back. There were so many penalties on that play. There's offensive pass interference, defensive pass interference, 2 taunting penalties by both guys. But, it is training camp. That's what happens in training camp. So hopefully by regular season, we don't see any of that nonsense, because you make a big play like that, you can't go and blow it by a penalty, because those big plays, man, they're few and far between.
The NFL Hall of Fame game tonight, guys. Before we move on, Mike, have that ready, but don't put it up just yet. I do want to talk briefly about what's going on here. We spoke the last time we were on about the NFL Hall of Fame induction. We talked about the speeches. We talked about Darrelle Revis. I want to give you in perspective what exactly is going on here with Darrelle Revis, and people may not understand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Mike put a picture up real quick.
I'm having a little bit of trouble.
And what we got going on here is, now we mentioned on the show that three people, which is more than any high school in the whole entire country, are going to be in the Hall of Fame from Aliquippa, a town called Aliquippa, which is about 4 minutes from here. But there's more to it. As impressive as that is, as impressive as having 3 guys in the Hall of Fame from one school district, people are going to be surprised to know that there's a 4th pretty famous Hall of Famer that's also from within the town that they grew up. When Mike gets set up, I'll show you what I'm talking about. And this 4th player is, of course, Tony Dorsett, another great. He lived in the town that this school was in, but he went to a neighboring school because of the address. But I'm going to, as soon as we get to set up, I'm going to give you an idea of how close and really that Tony Dorsett is from Aliquippa. It shows you that he's you're gonna be pretty wowed by this.
Yep.
But on top of that, I also want to let you know that on top of these 4 NFL players in the NFL Hall of Fame from Aliquippa, Pistol Pete Maravich, who is a NBA Hall of Famer, is also from Aliquippa, and Madonna is originally from Aliquippa, the singer, of course, Madonna. Now you got to understand, this town is about 2 miles by 2 miles, 2 by 2 square miles of town. It's not a big town. It's an old mill town right here in right outside of Pittsburgh. And this is a town where a lot of people, you know, when the mills were thriving, you know, people would live in this town because J&L steel mills and all these mills right along the river, people would live in this river town, and they would just, you know, go down, get in the streetcars, whatever, and get taken to their jobs at these mills. Is that a sign saying we're good, Mike?
Yep, we're good.
All right, go ahead and put it up. Now, what we have going on here, guys, this is a picture. Okay, now this is a town. This is a small town. As you notice down on the bottom center, it says Aliquippa Junior Senior High School. So that just represents, you know, this. Take a look at that building there. That's a. Can you circle this? Yeah, just kind of put your arrow around it. That's the high school. Okay, so we're gonna go over here to number one. Okay, so this is the Plan 11 school district in the town where people live. Plan 11, then up top on number 2, right below it's number 3, and to the right is number 4. Now, what you got to understand, this is not a big city. This is not a huge town. This is a small, I used to be called a borough, and due to the size of the amount of people booming through a period of time, it turned into a small city. But that's really deceiving, because if you were in this town, it is any small town USA. Now, I'm not sure which. I would guess, if I had to guess, I would think that Tony Dorsett, he would be the one that lives at he grew up at number 2, because it's the furthest out, and it almost seems like it would be on the on the line for the neighboring town. Number 3, number 4, I believe, were Darrell Revis and Ty Law, which part of the town they grew up in. I believe, don't quote me on this, number 1 would be where Mike Ditka was from. I could be wrong, but I do know that those 4 players, Mike Ditka, Ty Law, Tony Dorsett, and Darrell Revis, all from within this little town right here. Believe me, this is 2 miles by 2 miles. This is not a big place. And going to this weekend, we have Darrell Revis getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. So not only do we have 3 people from this Aliquippa school district, there's 4 people from the town itself that are in the Hall of Fame, which makes it even more amazing, along with the NBA Hall of Famer Pistol Pete Maravich and as I said, Madonna. So I mean, pretty cool for a town that you blink your eyes and you literally have gone through the whole town already. Believe me, it's not that big of a town.
Not bad for a very, very small town. And like we said before, man, a school that the state loves to mess around with their classification for their football program.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a freak thing. I just don't get it. I don't know what's in the water they drink, but the Aliquippa football team, they do manage to compete and win state championships pretty regularly in the state of Pennsylvania, which is amazing, because the huge those big charter schools on the eastern side of the state, which we don't have in Western PA, but Philadelphia and the regions over on the eastern part of the state, they have these, and they're just these huge monster schools, these super schools, they call them. And teams like Aliquippa, still with small town, they still continue to go and win state championships on every level, because again, PIAA and WPIAL can't leave them alone and just let them play people in their class. They have to up it. You know what? These kids who only have 22 kids on their team, we have to make them play in 6A because nobody could beat them. And guess what? They go to 6A and they win state championships. So,
they're getting success tax. They're so good. They're going to make it we're going to make it difficult for you. They're going to make it harder for you. And then they still do it. If they can make another classification, they put them in there too.
Yeah.
But for Hall of
Trayvon Henry right now, he's playing for the New Jersey Generals in the USFL. He's an Aliquippa grad. This Pitt Panther team right now is riddled with Aliquippa players.
The corner.
MJ Devonshire.
Yes, he's my favorite player at Pitt right now.
Absolutely.
And all my favorite players at Pitt were one time Aaron Donald and Larry Fitzgerald. So I know how to pick them.
Yeah,
I know how to pick. As a Penn State guy, you know it pains me, but my God, some good players coming out of Pitt and a lot of good players coming out of Aquippa.
Absolutely. That's one thing you could always count on is with death taxes and good football players coming out of Quip. So keep them coming, guys, because if you keep stacking that number, it's just going to make your lore and everything about Aliquippa even more amazing. So keep it up. Keep up the great work. I'm excited to see Darrell this weekend with the speech at the Hall of Fame. Congratulations, and can't wait to see more. So
Aliquippa more NFL Hall of Famers than college programs.
It's insane. It's insane. Guys, we are down to about 5 minutes. I do want to jump over to the Pirates real quick. Buccos, they still 9.5 games out. Again, from about a week ago, we were 11.5 games, so they are moving in the right direction. They were winners of 4 of 5, 3 of 4, something like this. They ended up losing yesterday for the first time in a few days. Record-wise, they fell to right now they're 48-59. They play the Brewers tonight. That's the start of a 4-game series against Milwaukee in Milwaukee, which is a huge series for the Pirates because in the, it said in the last few games, when we put some wins together, we actually gained a little ground. So you see how that works. You win some games, you gain some ground. I don't know why this is a hard concept for this organization, but the Pirates, they did. Of course, we weren't on yesterday. The game from the score from the night before was 4-1 Pittsburgh over the Tigers. The Tigers ended up coming back yesterday, winning the second game of 2, 6-3 over the Pirates in that period of time. Mike Peguero hit his 3rd home run. He's only been up about a week and a half. And another young buck who's putting up big things and doing big things is Andy Rodriguez, who had his 2nd triple in 3 games. And, getting a triple was not the easiest thing in the world. You got 2 of them in 3. So the young bucks are moving in a better direction. Yep. And here's a good reason why I think we lost a bunch of dead weight.
Yes.
The trade deadline just happened. And here's what happened. Again, I'm going to kind of blow through this, but the trade deadline, we lost Carlos Santana, Rich Hill, Jimon Choi, Austin Hedges, and Rodolfo Castro. In return, we gained shortstop Johnny Severino, left-handed pitcher Jackson Wolf, first baseman Alfonso Rivas, outfielder Estevar Suero, and left-handed pitcher Bailey Falter. Bailey Falter, what we get in return on one of our trades is 0-7. So great trading. And this was a good trade deadline, Derpy, because we didn't buy, we didn't sell, we just made a few trades. And the guys that we got rid of aren't anybody from the nucleus of this team. They weren't anybody from the young bucks coming up. They kept everything that they wanted to keep, I think, because you keep your Andrew McCutchen, you keep your Jack Sawinski, your Brian Reynolds, and your Key Brian Hayes. And then everybody else is all your young bucks. These are the plays. This was a successful trade deadline, in my opinion. I thought that these guys should just sit on their hands. Don't do too much because you're potentially you're close. They're close. They're just not there yet. They have a few more holes they have to fill to become a team to compete. But they kept everybody they needed to keep. For the one that I thought was funny was for Austin Hedges. They got international pool money in return, which I think is money that goes to building Bob Nothing's new pool for him and his.
That's fine by me.
That's what we got for Austin Hedges.
That is fine by me. Anything that we got for Austin Hedges is a plus because that, oh God, just get him off the team. I'm sorry, he's not good at all. I never understood the love affair with. Yeah. Oh, God.
I think people just like him because he's nice.
Led the league in catcher interference. I'm glad he's gone. He's be gone. Like a lot of these guys, they're gone. It should allow more of these young guys to play. There should be openings in the lineup. They should all be filled with, the future of your team. Because like Ryan said, they held on to Sawinski, they held on to Davis. Rodriguez, Bednar, Keller. Because if Bednar and Keller went, you could tell they're kicking the can down the road for the next 5 years.
Yeah, Bednar and Keller, of course.
They kept them, so that's a good sign. But this upcoming off season, they need to spend money. Get players in here that aren't like a Rich Hill type, aren't like a Andrew McCutchen type. Even though McCutchen's having an okay season for where he is in his career, get some free agents who are a little bit younger and ready to go that can contribute to the team.
Mike, they really did. They left themselves in a good position because here's what you have.
I'm hoping they do anything, but we know they won't.
You have 2 months left. You have a third of the season. And you have all these young players that were all brought up this season. They all get to play with each other for the next 2 months. And then O'Neal Cruz is no longer than a month away. I'm getting reports that he's going to be getting ready to move forward soon in his rehabilitation to hopefully be on the Pirates team by the end of the month. Of course, we see him in the dugout every day. He's already with the guys and everything, but he's itching to get back out there. So you have this young team. You have that nucleus of players, the field players that I mentioned. And then, as Mike said, David Bednar and Mitch Keller didn't go anywhere. So you have it's not bad. I want to see how this next 2 months plays out because I think that the heart of these young bucks, they want to come up and prove that they could do it and they could win. And I think that you're going to see some success in these last 2 months from these young kids. As I said, there's things that aren't in place to be a really good, successful team. I mean, the rotation, for one, I think the guy that's 0-7 is going to be thrown into our rotation, which blows my mind. So, I mean, things like this are going to be the reason, why there's more hurdles along the way. But I do think that this team is moving in the right direction. And as I said, the fact that they sat on their hands for the most part and didn't deal away anything too crazy is a good sign for the Pirates at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I like what they did. We weren't going to get anything good in return because we traded no one good. So what we got back, if someone makes it to the team and helps out in any way, that's a win. If any of these guys sniff the majors, that's a win. I don't care what they do, it's a win at that point. But because we kept the nucleus around.
Rich Hill played for 13 different teams now in his 19-year career, which is second. I don't know. It didn't tell me. That just said who the second was. It said second. So there's somebody that played for more teams than him. But Rich Hill now plays for 13 different teams in his 19-year career. And my final note on the trade deadline was Josh Bell from, of course, Derpy's team.
Yeah, and of course he proceeds to hit a home run the next day.
He gets moved again. He goes to Miami. He's a Marlin, and as Derpy says, he hits a home run. But that's all I have on trade deadline scoop, guys. Again, I think it went good. I say we watched the way these last 2 months play out, and and then hope that things get a little bit better. And I would say it couldn't get worse, but you know what? The Pirates always tend to get worse.
It's the Pirates.
I'm not going to make that comment. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to make me, Mike.
No, it can get worse with the Pirates. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it gets worse. And when it gets worse, it gets better. But you just have to laugh because if you take it too seriously, you're gonna stroke out.
Mike, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about the website?
TwoDumbYinzers.com. Head on over there. We have everything you need. Two Dumb Yinzers. Links to all of our social media and more, especially that merch store. Check it out. Buy your Bob Nothing merch at TwoDumbYinzers.com.
Trivia of the day, guys. It's going to be NFL trivia. It's going to have to do with either the Jets or the Cleveland Browns, since that is who's going at it tonight at the Hall of Fame game, the first preseason game of the season tonight, Canton, Ohio, 7:00. You guys ready?
I am ready.
Here's the question of the day. What were the New York Jets originally named? What were the New York Jets originally named? Go ahead and think that over. We are live all week long, 7 days a week, from Monday to Sunday, every week, every day, right here. And the show that we do live every day gets uploaded over on Spotify in podcast form at 8:00 p.m. If you just Like if you prefer listening to the podcast, you just want to put your buds in, hit the gym, maybe take a run. You could always just put the show on in podcast form over on Spotify. It goes up every day at 8:00. All right, guys. The question of the day is this: what were the New York Jets originally named? I'm going to start with Derpy. Derpy, what were the original name of the Jets?
The New York Midders.
Hold on. Let me give you a hint.
All right.
Yeah.
The hint is there's another team right now with the name that the Jets were originally named. There's a team in the NFL right now with the name the Jets were originally named. All right. So here we go. Derpy. What were the New York Jets originally named? And the hint is there's an NFL team right now with the name the Jets originally were.
That's a toughie.
It is
a toughie. I'm going to make a guess because like the Eagles is the first thing that popped into my head. I was going to say no, but then he gave me that hint. But I know the Eagles were around early. Yeah, I'm gonna screw it. Let's go with the Eagles.
The Eagles. Is that your final answer, Mike? All right.
Yeah. I'm tossing between the Eagles and the Falcons. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
All right, got you locked in on the Eagles. Derpy, what were the New York Jets originally named? Of course, one of the teams that are playing tonight in the very first NFL game of the season, preseason game, NFL Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. Derpy, what were the Jets originally named? Mike says the Eagles.
Falcons.
The Falcons. Is that your final answer?
Good one.
Yeah.
I like that, guys.
All right, let me lock you in. All right, everybody's locked in, guys. The trivia of the day, NFL, because we do have a game tonight. What were the Jets originally named? Mike says the Eagles. Derpy says the Falcons. Neither of you guys were correct. The
What should be the Giants?
Is the New York Titans.
Ooh. Wow.
The New York Titans were the original name. The New York Jets.
See it.
So there you go. Always learning something new on this show. There's never a day that we don't learn something new on this show. Guys, Mike, I know you work, so it's going to be difficult for you to watch the game, but Derpy, I know that you'll be watching it. I'll be watching it. I'm sure I'll be updating Mike as he sleeps via text, letting him know everything that's going on throughout the game.
As you should.
As I should.
You should. I want to know if Aaron Rodgers gets high on a ayahuasca on the sidelines. Okay.
Hey, you know what? That ayahuasca doesn't sound like the worst thing ever. I can tell you that.
No, it does not. It sounds like a good time, boys.
Yes. But no, I do. I can't wait, everybody. Here we are. It's finally here. It's finally here. So we'll be talking football tomorrow. Also, the new series, the 4-game series between the Bucks and the Brewers. It kind of all starts tonight, so let's see what they could do for the rest of the season. And let's see. That's all we can do is just let's see.
We can just wait.
Pitt Panthers are back on the field. They started camp the other day as well. So, guys, football season is about to be in full swing. Everybody, all the pieces are in place. Now we just have to wait for the whistle to blow.
Yeah.
So close.
Derpy, anything before we take off?
I got nothing, actually.
All right. I got some things here. Minka Fitzpatrick came in at number 18 in the top 100 ranking.
Derpy, number 18. Does that sit well with you?
Yeah.
That's okay. All right.
And I have a tweet I saw. I'm going to paraphrase it. It's baseball fans. You always say, it's a 162 game season, but they are miserable every single game.
they're miserable.
They're never happy.
Days.
They are never happy after a game. Like football fans, their team wins. Yeah. Hockey team wins. Yeah. Soccer team wins. Yeah. Baseball team wins. What were they thinking?
Maybe you
Why'd they
maybe
do
you're
this?
more of a
Why'd they
baseball
do
guy,
that?
Mike. Maybe that's you're meant to be a baseball guy.
Maybe if baseball was like more exciting, I would fit my personality perfectly because I am after the Steelers won. Yeah, they won, but my God, this was bad. That was bad. The Penguins win. How'd they win? They shouldn't have won. They did. Yeah. I should have.
You were a born baseball fan.
I am probably, but you take that back. What you got, Derp?
Joe Thomas never won a ring. Think about that.
That's us waiting on Derpy. That's dial-up.
That's us waiting on dial-up.
Go ahead, Derpy. I'm sorry. What was that?
Joe Thomas never won a ring. Think about that.
No, he hasn't. And you know what's even crazier? The Browns haven't finished ahead of the Pittsburgh Steelers since like 1987. That's mind blowing.
Exactly.
So
not to be a downer,
but they're going to be good this year, guys. They're told they're going to be.
Please, Mike.
Not to be a downer, but they did beat us the last time we made it to the playoffs.
They haven't finished ahead of us in a season since 1987.
I know, but they beat us in the last time we.
Hey, the sun shines on the dog's ass every now and then, don't it?
I wish it would shine on my ass right now.
Hey, at the end of the day, don't matter what we've done lately. I do want us to do something. We have 6 Super Bowls. Nobody has more. The Browns hasn't finished ahead of us since the 80s. So things, you know what? They could be a lot worse. They could be worse. They could be worse. We could be sitting here talking about how great the Browns are, and we haven't finished ahead of them.
I think we should do that one episode, just how great the Browns are. I wanted to hear Derpy have a stroke on air.
Maybe we'll do the ayahuasca, and then we'll get on and we'll honestly believe.
I'm down.
The Browns are this great team, and that could be fun.
That could be a fun episode.
Yeah. So there you have it, everybody. We do want to thank everybody for checking us out. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you. And for the show, for Derpy, Mike, myself, the two